tablet. Download now by searching Bakersfield Californian in the Apple, Google, and Amazon app stores.
From the Dignity Health Studios of the Bakersfield Californian, it's time to open up with real people and real talk about real stuff. And now, a special welcome to our friends throughout California, across the nation, and around the world to this week's edition of Open Up.
Welcome, everybody. I'm Don Clark.
And I'm Bob Prater, not Tina.
Your semi-favorite pair on the air.
Right.
Tina is back in Washington, D.C., where she's helping to register guests from around the world for the National Prayer Breakfast. And I need to tell you, last week you met her husband here on the air, Robert Miller. And Robert, back there, was in a terrible car wreck. A car came into him. He was riding on the passenger side. He was hit by a car doing 60 miles an hour. The driver of that car did not survive. He was killed. Oh. And Robert was pretty banged up, but I tell you, man's man, he just sucked it up, and he's sitting at the table registering guests.
Oh,
sore and banged up, but he said 1 second later, earlier or later, he wouldn't have been here.
We don't realize how precarious things are at times.
Yeah.
And Providence is big.
You bet. You bet. We've really got a wonderful show for you. And when we said guests from around the world, I don't know if we told you folks the latest numbers. When we started this show a year ago, we had 500 viewers. And we ended out the year with 27,000 viewers, including some in 19 countries.
Wow.
And I have no idea how that's happening because nobody's advertising this, nobody's promoting this show. It just seems to be quietly, organically growing. And I think it's kind of because one of what we have for you today, we have one of the top personal trainers that you will ever meet. If you want to get fit, if you want to stay healthy, this is a man that can guide you. And then coming up in the middle of the show, we have the leader of the Islamic community here in Kern County, in charge of 5 mosques and the entire community here, and we're going to try to help close the Islam-Christian divide. We're going to try to explode some of the myths about Islam, some of the fears that are unnecessary about Islam, and this is a man of tremendous wisdom and breadth of knowledge. You're going to enjoy this. And then at the last, Bob brought this one on. We have Mike Evans, the author of, I love the subtitle of this book. It's called Before You Get Here, Baggage to Drop on Your Way to Heaven. I think that's really going to be fun. So let's roll.
Come on.
All right. Our first guest, Roland Brown. Roland, you are known throughout Kern County as just a premier personal trainer and just one heck of a great guy to go with it. So
thank you, Don. I appreciate that. Good to be here.
We've got so many health challenges in Kern County. I mean, there are 58 counties here in Kern County. I think we're almost dead last in so many categories of illness and disease and lack of fitness. And so, Roland, tell us what you think Kern County needs to know to get our act together and to become a healthy people, not a sick people.
You know, I love that question, Don. I think one of the biggest challenges that we have, and it's really, I take responsibility as far as the fitness industry is concerned, in that what we've done with fitness and the idea of physical fitness is we've made it so image-based. You know, the how you look is more important than how you feel, how you function, what your body's capable of. And so I think part of the challenge now today is to get people to get back to the place of understanding that physical movement, physical quality of life is the key to health and quality longevity. You know, I just had my 60th birthday in September, and it kind of opens up the door to that when you realize, you know, God said I got 120 years, and I hit the halfway point, you know, in September.
Yep.
So what you're looking at is how do you want to live out the second half? And I think part of the problem is that we're retiring or we're going to the second season of life with no energy, you know, no strength, and that type of thing, because we've lost the idea, the connection that it's not just about how you look, but it's about how well you live. That becomes I think that's the number one thing is change that paradigm.
Wow. When someone first comes to you, What kind of regimen? How do you start? And how do you advise people out there who might not have the money to come to you, but to need something to get going? And we're talking here with my co-anchor who has just lost about 40 pounds.
Absolutely. Congratulations. And you know what? I love the way we were talking earlier about how Bob did that, and he did it walking. Okay?
Right.
The first thing that God told Adam and Eve was to be fruitful and multiply, and he didn't give them a Winnebago to do it. The idea was you walk. So walking is the first thing that I tell people to do. You start getting out, moving your body. It's weight-bearing exercise. The second thing is we actually have to put in a program or a pattern of strength training, because the muscle loss is really what leads to all the orthopedic issues that we deal with as we age. And so this loss of muscle tissue comes things. So two things I tell people: the basic fitness, you lift weights or do some other resistance type calisthenics, and you walk. If you do those two things, you will maintain the quality of your physical capacity throughout the rest of your life. It's not complicated.
Roland, not long ago, we had a woman on our set in her 50s, and a normal kind of lady, out of shape. Not that she looked bad, she just wasn't out of shape. And she just started walking around the block. And she said her goal was to put one foot in front of the other, one foot in front of the other. And now she's walking the Pacific Trail.
Yes.
Walking hundreds of miles, just putting one foot in front of the other, starting slow and going forward.
The body is a move it or lose it organism.
Right.
Okay? It's just like anything else we do. What we put into it is the investment we get back. If we focus on using it and using it progressively, it's like you go one foot in front of the other. That's how you start. Every marathon will tell you, the first, step is how you get to 26 miles. You have to start with that. But the other part of it is to recognize that it's not about 90 days to look great. It's not about the 6 weeks to a bikini body.
Right.
All the things that you see. And what we've done is we've taught people that fitness is for wedding dresses, for reunions, class reunions. It's a special K on the box to look like this. That's the idea, that you can either eat your way to a great body or you can do it in a short time just so you can impress your friends and then take off. It's not how you fit in clothes. That's not the thing. It's not the size. I love using the analogy of a football team. Coming off the Super Bowl, the guys that are on the line, okay, aren't the pretty ones. But every one of them can run down that field, 100 yards when they need to. That's the key. We want to make sure that we can, no matter where your body is, what size it is, whatever you do, can you walk a mile? That's the test.
There is no way you're 60.
Yeah.
There is no way. If someone would have asked me when I walked in, I would not have been anywhere near that number.
40.
And so, maybe.
Yeah.
And so you can talk about, it's not about how you look, but oh my gosh, you are a commercial for yourself.
Well, here, it's a form follows function issue. Because I could have gotten to 60 like the majority of people do.
Right.
Sitting on the couch. I have a couch. I could get to 60 sitting on my couch and have that turn out the same way.
Right.
It's not, it isn't the fact that was my focus. It's just part of my lifestyle.
Right.
So the end result is this. We've got, I saw Don's car. It was like, this is a beautiful, little beautiful convertible. Okay. Mm-hmm. That car is not brand new. It's well maintained and it's gorgeous.
Right.
And so when we think about the things that we invest in and we maintain and all the things that we love that we take care of, but we don't take care of the driver that drives the car nearly as well as we take care of the car itself.
I got to turn to my co-host here. Bob, I was stunned when you walked in. You had those other 40 pounds the last time I saw you, and in such a short time. How did you do it? And what motivated you to start?
I literally started eating different, and then I began to walk. I was very active years ago. I played basketball 5 times a week. I rode a bike almost 100 miles a week, and then my feet gave out, and multiple surgeries, and then the weight began to come on. But literally, I've just learned to eat differently, and I thought I knew everything, and I went to some nutrition classes, and I found out that I didn't know everything. They said, we're going to teach you how to read a label. And I thought, I know how to read a label, but guess what? I didn't. And so there it was. We'd like to know.
We got a minute.
Yeah.
Sure.
How people can get in touch with you if they want what you've got.
I think we've got a free screen here.
There we
there
go.
it is, Roland Brown, personal
There you go.
trainer. And it's a long email, Roland Brown, personal trainer at legacyfitness.com. Roland Brown, personal trainer at legacyfitness.com. And I'm sure Roland would love to have you just call and and chat over the phone, and maybe whether you become one of his trainees or not. He's always stands ready to help people become healthy. 661-333-6062. 333-602. Roland, great guy,
Don, thank
great
you.
advice. And
Thank you very
basically, just get started,
Just get
rolling,
started.
and the momentum begins to build.
Exactly. And congratulations, Bob.
Oh, thank you, Roland.
That's awesome. That's awesome. It's a pleasure being here. Thank you, John.
All right. When we come back, we're going to try to close the Christian-Muslim divide, if only just a little bit, by talking about what the real Islam is about. We'll be right back.